How's it going, everybody? So today in this video I'm going to talk about the amazing benefits of a zero carb, carnivore, and or ketogenic diet. So these three things are very similar with slight differences. Most people report the best benefits on a carnivore diet, but ketogenic diets have been amazing for the vast majority of people. Keep in mind that a ketogenic diet is not a low carb diet, neither is a carnivore. Keto and carnivore are very far from low carb. Low carb diets can usually include anything anywhere from 1 to 100 grams of net carbs. That's a lot. It's going to keep you out of ketosis. It's going to completely negate any potential health benefits you might get from keto or carnivore. Okay, so be careful when people talk about low carb diets. You need to look at what exactly they mean. They definitely don't mean keto. Low carb is not the same as keto or carnivore. Anyway, so ketogenic diet, first of all, is usually going to be 70% fat, and then 70% of calories from fat, and then 20 to 25 calories, 20 to 25% calories from protein, and then the rest comes from fibrous vegetables. Okay, carbohydrates are kept to a minimum, and your primary source of fuel is ketones, which is essentially the breakdown product of body fat. So basically your body is using its own body fat to create ketones, which your body burns for energy. Okay, so most people report the best benefits on carnivore, but everyone reports feeling better when they switch to a ketogenic diet, especially from veganism or really any type of diet. So what are some of the benefits? Well, first of all, unlimited energy. All right, people that become fat adapted, which usually takes anywhere from 2 to 8 weeks, sometimes 12. When people are fat adapted, they literally, it's like the fog has been lifted. They discover energy that they never thought they ever would have had before in their entire lives. They don't know where the fuck it's coming from. It's almost like they're born again. It's really crazy. And they can just go all day, and usually their sleep is improved, unless they're missing electrolytes or they have a food intolerance. In that case, sleep will not improve. But most people report improved sleep quality. And if you're not eating enough calories or enough fat, then obviously you're not going to have good sleep either. So you've got to make sure you're doing it properly. But most people report amazing energy and amazing sleep. So improved stamina and endurance. Once you're fat adapted, people report being able to run for dramatically longer distances than they ever would have before. I know people who spar, who I spar with, do MMA, mixed martial arts, and when they first started a keto diet, they were gassing out and they were exhausted. It's very hard to do MMA at first, but after about 2 months, they were able to recover from exercise almost instantly, especially in between rounds. We'd spar real hard for 5-minute rounds, and after 5 minutes, they'd be able to just take a minute and be right back to their baseline. Right back, they'd be great. And they'd just be able to go and go and go. Whereas the people that run on carbs, like, they get tired in the middle of rounds. No matter how good their aerobic conditioning is, in the middle of rounds, their performance would go up and down, and then they'd need a lot longer to recover. And then when they would recover, they wouldn't be 100%. Whereas with the people who do ketosis, they're able to spar for 5 minutes at a time, 6 minutes at a time, and their performance stays consistent. They don't have the peaks of energy and the dips. And then after resting for like a minute or two, they're right back to just study great performance, versus the people on carbs, they usually don't recover to where they were. Okay, they pass a point of no return. Ketosis, you don't have that. So marathon runners, endurance runners, they often report amazing improvements when they switch to a ketogenic diet. They're able to run and run and run with no need to refill carbohydrates, versus the marathon runners that do carbohydrate diets. They have to take carb packs and drink sodas and drink juice and energy packets in the middle of their runs, or keep a Cliff Bar with them or something, which Cliff Bars bloat me up. So so you have like an infinite gas tank of energy, if that makes sense. So what about powerlifting and bodybuilding type stuff? Well, there's lots of communities that dedicate themselves to ketogenic bodybuilding, like Keto Gains or Lean Gains, if you look that up on Reddit. What else? Well, the carnivore diet seems to be great for athletic performance. People who do strength sports, they're able to, they usually, as long as they're eating enough protein, calories, and fat, they are able to keep their strength where it was before, or make dramatic improvements in a little amount of time. So these people usually after about 2 months of adapting to a ketogenic diet, they're able to push barriers that they plateaued at before. They're able to get stronger. So, but some people claim that it ruins their performance. From what I've seen, weightlifting, powerlifting, and bodybuilding shouldn't be affected, but MMA and glycotic type training, sprinting and football, explosive stuff like that, a lot of people report their performance goes down in some aspects, besides being able to recover faster, less soreness, less pain, etc. So really interesting on that front. But the main things that improve, your dental health improves, because a lot of people, they want to believe, oh, plaque is genetic, or it's this or it's that. I have a toothpaste deficiency. It's really stupid, the crazy things people believe, like, without thinking. Plaque buildup is primarily caused by carbohydrate consumption. Absolutely. Pretty much everybody that I've seen that started eating a ketogenic diet or a carnivore diet especially, their dental health just increases beyond belief. It's pretty insane. People who had cavities, or they had gum disease, or they had especially lots of plaque and stuff on their teeth, these issues seem to reverse pretty rapidly over a couple of weeks to a couple of months, depending on how severe it is, of course. Believe it or not, yes, people have healed their own cavities on this diet, but plaque pretty much becomes non-existent. Eyesight is another thing. A lot of people report drastically improved eyesight within the first couple of weeks. Okay. Now there's different ideas of why this might be. Some people claim it has to do with water retention in the eyes. Most people believe it has to do with blood sugar. And really we know that sugar does cause macular degeneration and carbohydrate intake in general, especially in excessive amounts. And if you're obese, some people believe that there's fatty deposits in the eye, water retention, etc., etc. We know blood pressure and blood sugar fluctuations can cause eye problems. Anxiety can obviously cause eye problems. Nutrient deficiencies can cause eye problems, especially fat and fat-soluble vitamins. It's interesting. Also keep in mind your eyesight is an extension of your brain. And we do know that ketogenic diets are very powerfully beneficial to brain health. So, These are widely reported, and there is mechanistic data to make sense of it. More studies would be a great thing, but I mean, we already know the carbohydrate connection to bacteria in your teeth. We know that the carbohydrates do negatively impact circulation, eyesight, blood sugar, which can cause eye problems. And then, of course, when you remove carbs, you lose a lot of water weight, so you lose a lot of sodium and other things, and so it can remove pressure from the eyes. And it can improve blood flow by lowering blood pressure from removing water retention. So, there are still more benefits. Most people who have done ketogenic diets and carnivore diets for years report coronary artery calcium scans of 0. They have 0 points on their coronary artery calcium scan. And what this means is that they're at a extremely low risk for heart disease. Okay, it's crazy because if fat and cholesterol really was the cause of heart disease, do you really think that these people, especially since most of them are in their 40s and 50s from what I've seen, and they've been doing this diet for years, they've been eating a meat-based diet for all their lives, if fat and cholesterol was the problem, don't you think that their coronary arteries would be riddled with calcification and plaques? I mean, I've seen like really weak arguments that vegans come out with to try to debunk this, trying to say that, oh, the coronary artery calcium scan doesn't matter, blah blah blah. They try to say it's not reliable, but I feel like these vegans, they're hanging on to their diet with whatever weak arguments they can find, and they're just deluding their followers because their followers want to believe veganism is great. That's the only reason they believe in this bullshit. Otherwise, they'd look up all the statements they say. They wouldn't believe in documentaries like What the Health blindly. All these vegans think they're so smart, but they don't research the things that they believe. So it's a religious dogma, not really intelligence. But anyway, so calcium in coronary arteries seem to pretty much be non-existent. There does not seem to be any dangerous impact of fat and cholesterol on coronary artery calcification. If there was, all these people would definitely not have a score of 0. And it's multiple people that have came out. I've seen posts on the World Carnivore Tribe on Facebook. There's just oodles and oodles of people who post their blood tests and post their results and their reversing of diseases with this diet. And they're real people who you can see their profile, and you can see their pictures and their memories and things. They're not paid shills or anything like that. They have faces and they have stories. They have Facebook accounts. You could literally see who it is. And it's called the World Carnivore Tribe, something like that, on Facebook. It's Sean Baker's group. And I've seen these people reverse gout on a carnivore diet, even though mainstream medicine claims meat causes gout. How the fuck are these people reversing gout on a meat-based diet then? Obviously, they reverse diabetes. They're able to lower their medication and remove their medication completely. They lower their blood pressure significantly by anywhere from 20 to 40 points, depending on how bad it is. That's a pretty significant improvement compared to the 2 to 3 point reduction seen from dietary fiber. Autoimmune conditions fade away or completely go away, completely reverse. Most people choose a carnivore diet to completely reverse autoimmune conditions. Lots of vegans get autoimmune conditions and then go to a carnivore diet and experience complete remission. Crohn's disease, gout, even lupus, obviously fibromyalgia, that's a big one. Most people are just intolerant to gluten though. My girlfriend actually, she had fibromyalgia. It was horrible, and I notice whenever she eats gluten, peanuts or what else was it? Even some types of corn. She gets fibromyalgia outbreaks, and as long as she doesn't have those in her diet, she doesn't get them. And it was crippling her most of her life. Remove gluten, remove these things, and now she's good. So it's no surprise that a keto or carnivore diet can reverse things like fibromyalgia. Usually removing food intolerances will do that, but obviously weight loss is a big one. People lose weight effortlessly when they switch to this diet. I mean, it's pretty remarkable stuff, pretty remarkable indeed. People go from being fat and overweight to all of a sudden looking like they're on steroids. So, I mean, that's pretty incredible. So, I mean, there's a multitude of other beneficial effects of this diet that I can go into, but generally people feel better, more energized, they lose weight, they get off all their medications, they reverse so-called incurable diseases simply by eating mainly animal products, depending on which diet you eat. If you eat a carnivore diet, you're not eating any plant products. But if you eat a ketogenic diet, you're just removing all net carbs and eating more fat. So, lots of coconut oil, lots of butter, lots of fatty meats, avocados, and then lots of vegetables, lots of green vegetables. So, I mean, that's pretty remarkable. Obviously, we know, based on scientific studies, that epilepsy gets reversed. A lot of people report reversal of depression and anxiety, and that's usually because keto diets and carnivore diets increase GABA in the brain, and they lower glutamate. Glutamate is it's basically a neurotoxin. It's an excitotoxin. It's a neurotransmitter. When you have too much of it, it kills your neurons. And there's a lot of research that claim glutamate is responsible for schizophrenia, even autism, Parkinson's disease. I know a lot of people believe it's dopamine, but ALS even. So there's a lot of crazy evidence out there about all this. Lots of people use it to reverse depression and anxiety. I mean, Jordan Peterson and his daughter came out with that. And I've just seen so many people report that. But if you're really interested in this, I recommend, there's lots of science, but that's really hard to go through. The easier option is for you to just check out the World Carnivore Tribe on Facebook and look at all the amazing things people are saying about this diet. Also, you can search whatever disease or condition you might want to reverse, and then zero carb, and then Reddit and Google. For example, diabetes, zero carb, Reddit, or diabetes carnivore, Reddit, or diabetes keto, Reddit. And what you want to look for is other people's experiences. And, a lot of people say, oh, it's people's experiences, it's anecdotes, it could be a placebo effect, blah, blah, blah. But when you start to see hundreds and hundreds of people all saying the same thing about their experience, that's science. That's observation and experimentation. So, yeah. Pretty much people who ignore these people's experiences, they're basically just putting more money in the pharmaceutical industry's pockets and helping to fund fake research. Like cancer research. It's crazy. Or donating to the Diabetes Foundation to reverse diabetes or find a cure for diabetes. Like, bitch, we already have cures for diabetes. We know what causes it. It's all these dumbasses who think it's genetics or think it's fat. Oh, it's fat that causes diabetes. I saw it on What the Health, so it's true. Dr. Greger fucking said so it's true. The cereal companies want me to eat their damn cereal. So, I gotta keep eating cereal and think that, this is good for me. Hey, it's fortified with vitamins and minerals. Yeah, watch out for iron toxicity. That's what those fortified grains are going to give you. Anyway, leave your questions and comments down below. If you have any amazing experiences yourself, let me know in the comments, and I'll talk to y'all next time.